everybody out there. I am back. That's right. I am your host, Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. It is the interview series that has been coming to you for almost 10 years. We have a 10-year anniversary next year. I'm very excited about that. We'll be planning a big party, so keep your eyes out for that. So, we are the interview series that brings you globally interview experts that improve your personal life or grow your business. So they are brilliant. They are beautiful. They are fabulous. They are helping you live your best life, go on your best journey, and leave your best legacy, which is what we all should be striving to do, in my personal opinion. Today, I have a lovely guest. Her name is Sandra Lee, and she is your Breathe Beyond Pain mentor. Now, as I tell you all the time, I am the Italian mother of seven. You know this, 7 kids, 9 grandchildren. But I am not your mama. We are not giving you medical, legal, financial, or any other kind of advice. Go talk to an expert. Go talk to a professional. Make an appointment with Sandra Lee. Figure out where it works best for you, and get those professionals handled on your own time. But stay with us and play and learn and laugh and hear the stories and hear the journey and check things out. Welcome, Sandra.
Hello. So nice to be here with you.
All right. So, Breathe Beyond the Pain mentor. There is so much to be said for breath, and I have to confess that I'm one of those that occasionally tries to focus on her breathing, and then I constantly have this annoying little child in the back of my mind, in my head, the little girl of me, of, you don't know if you're doing that right. What are you doing? Everyone says, oh, your belly breath and push your stomach out and all these. I don't know if I'm doing it right. And then I just kind of give up. Not a good suggestion from my level, but maybe we can learn something more from you, Sandra, about this, and also how this became your thing, like how breathing became your focus.
I have, for a really long time, closed my voicemail outgoing message with breathe. And I
Mm.
sign off my letters, I sign off my emails with breathe. And the receptionist at one of my chiropractor's offices years ago started calling me the breathe lady. And
Mm.
she said that every time she thinks of me, sees me, she takes a nice breath.
What a lovely gift you gave her.
Yes. And so ever since, I have been saying this, breathe, breathe. And it's as much a reminder to me
Mm.
as to anybody else.
Mm-hmm. I love
And
that.
when it comes to the experience of pain, it's one of the most important things you can do is remember to breathe.
Mm. So how did that become you, though? So where did you come from to lead into this? There's always a backstory. Give us a little bit of the journey.
I have been a massage therapist
Mm.
for 37 years. And
Mm.
how I came to that is I actually have a bachelor's in chemistry from Caltech, a
Mm.
science degree. And when I was in college, I would give casual massages to people, and I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't
Mm.
know if I was helping them, didn't know if I was hurting them. So after I graduated from college and realized I didn't want to do chemistry anymore, that I started studying acupressure
Mm.
and got into doing healing work, energy work, Reiki, and massage. And that was like way back in 1987. So I've been doing healing work ever since. That's how I started.
Wow. And the breathing is very connected to um, the body and the muscle. And the funny thing, though, is it's also very, very sciencey, because different pressure points and different things you do with breath affect how the chemicals are released in your body, and different hormones and endorphins, and just different. I'm no scientist, but I know there's a series of chain reactions similar to a science experiment. When you add this chemical and that chemical, when you add pressure to this, or do this, or stretch here, or breathe this, or there's a chain reaction that can be positive or negative depending on who you're working with, and if it's being done correctly, and all of those things. So that's very fascinating that you started there, but you kind of ended up in the science and chemistry of the human body.
It's all so intermingled and intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
So, you were just referring to what you think,
Mm-hmm.
what you do, breathing, holding your breath has an impact on your physical body.
Mm-hmm.
And as a massage therapist, I started doing this. And certainly now, when somebody has something going on with their body,
Mm-hmm.
I relate it to what are your life issues? What are your stresses? What's going on in your life? So as a massage therapist, I would put my hands on somebody and I started, getting information. I say, people's bodies talk to me
Mm-hmm.
and tell me things that the person would benefit from being conscious of, but they're too close to it to be
Mm-hmm.
able to see it. So it's like their beingness, their unconscious mind tells me, and then I tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say something, I don't know for sure if it's going to connect to them. But when I say it, the energy in their body shifts.
Mm-hmm. Whether you're right or wrong, it's going to shift on some level. That's the other thing about, like, even when you're watching someone's physical cues, if you're talking about a topic, you can physically see if this topic stresses them and it brings them joy, relaxes them. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the crashing waves of the ocean? Are we talking about the tax date due? So that's a fascinating thing. And the other thing is, when you breathe, it does affect your body, but also affects your mind. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and how you think, or in how you feel, right? Thinking and feeling kind of sometimes the same, but also can be different categories, where you can feel calmer and more relaxed instantly. And even in a high pressure, high panic situation, if you have to deal with something, taking a deep breath can sometimes give you the strength and the focus and the clarity to what is the next action I must take in this emergency situation.
Let me give you um, more specific examples so you can make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, working on somebody doing massage, a very common place where people have tension and pain is their shoulders
Mm-hmm.
and their neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, if I put my hands on somebody's shoulders, I might see a connection. Oh, this is related to what's going on with your lower back because I can see the connection with the lower back.
Mm-hmm.
But a common issue that I find in people's shoulders is having too much responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
too much pressure. All of the people, all of the things that you are responsible for weighing on you is on your shoulders. Okay. So if that is going on for somebody, and I say that, it feels like you're carrying the weight of the world
Mm-hmm.
on your shoulders. And like something that will often happen is they'll take a big breath.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things about human beings is we have this experience of wanting to be seen and the world doesn't see us.
Yeah.
Super common, which I could talk about that for hours. But
Yeah.
so it's like they breathe and then the energy block in their shoulder will will,
Mm-hmm.
will soften. The energy that's stuck in that area will start to flow. So when I get that kind of response, that's an indication to me that what I just said resonates with them. There's some truth in it. Now, I might say something that doesn't fit for them. And how I know that is there actually isn't a change.
Mm-hmm.
There
Mm-hmm.
isn't a response.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that the body, my body, your body, everybody's body responds instantaneously to thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. Well, and the other cool thing that I noticed by receiving a massage is sometimes I'll go in and say, I'm just having really bad pain on my left shoulder. But when they work on the right shoulder, it relieves the pain on the left shoulder. And that always blows my mind. I realize it's funny, we still get surprised, right? Like, I'm very spiritual and I believe miracles are possible and things like that. But when things just happen and surprise me, I'm very surprised. Yet I also know that in my version of belief, the whole universe was made by this great person. So, or energy or whatever you'd like to call that. Um, but yet I get surprised when the small thing shows up at the front door, like it still surprises me. So even though we know something, and even if we believe it, that when experiencing it still sometimes causes that, oh yeah, it's all connected. So there's still that. Now it's easy to understand how you would work with someone from a physical massage point, right? They would have to come to you or you have to go to them, and they would have to be regional for you. But now I believe what you're doing is more global and more virtual. So talk to us about if someone is having a struggle or having some issues and they need to work with someone like you. How would that look, and how would they go about doing that?
Let me give you an example, a story. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend Bridget had a headache every day for over 13 months. And she knew that when she woke up at some point during the day, she was absolutely positive that she would have a headache during the day. And this was really, just a not very happy situation for her. There's some some resignation in that. She had been to 9 doctors, had, 2 sleep studies, 3 MRIs, taken really expensive medications, and she still had a headache every day. So I met with her on Zoom, and I had her take the energy that was stuck in her body and get it moving. And by the end of the session, the headache was gone, and she proceeded to have 3 full days without a headache.
That's awesome.
And now she is empowered with some of the things that I recommended her check out. She is empowered to be able to help herself find whatever combination of things she needs so that she can be pain-free.
That's wonderful.
And this is with somebody on the other side of the continent. Here I am in British Columbia, right now, Washington State, and she's over on the East Coast. So to be able to make a difference for people that way is just amazing.
That is awesome. Now, if someone watching, and you guys are watching out there, and we're so grateful for you in the audience, can you tell them where they would go to find you so they could see if you guys were a best fit or explore what the next steps would be?
An easy way is to get a free gift that I've got. I've got another one that I'm in the process of making, talking specifically about pain. But this one is the Happy and Harmonious Relationships Worksheet. Your relationships are an important part of all of your life, including the pain picture. So the Happy and Harmonious Relationships Worksheet you can get at shinewithsandra.com/happy.
I love
And then
that.
once they're connected with me, then if they actually want to talk about their situation, their pain, I empower people to find freedom from pain.
That's wonderful. Is there a website also they could find?
My website is miracleinspirations.com. However, I got a lot of work to do on it.
Under construction, people, under construction. So I always say we're renovating ours too. So just always have an open heart and open mind when you're looking at those sites that are under transition, under construction, because we grow and we evolve as business owners and as humans, right? And so that's one thing. Now, are all your programs simply one-on-one? Do you ever do any workshops or group sessions or programs? What other ways are you serving?
I do have master classes occasionally, and one will be coming about pain specifically.
Oh,
So it's
cool.
like Jessica was just talking about. Yeah, Jessica was just talking about how we evolve. I'm in the middle of this massive evolution because I used to be focusing on business and making money. And I realized that, it's much more natural for me to talk about pain and help people with pain. So there's a massive renovation happening.
Yeah, and I funny. I mean, I love when you take the time to work with someone very holistic like you. Now, I always say again, we're not giving medical advice. If you have an issue, go see a doctor, go check with someone, go do all the things you feel drawn to do. You're a grown up, check yourself out. But I found often that I can talk to someone, or even I've learned a lot from like the Silva Mind Control book and some other things, and I can I have experienced for my own self, I'm not saying this for you out there, but for myself, if I started to think, oh, am I feeling a little under the weather, or is a cold coming, or I just begin to say to myself, and I do take a lot of deep breaths. It's funny, naturally, when I'm saying this, is I feel terrific. I feel terrific. And I have to tell you, I have felt better and better and better. And sometimes and many times completely shook whatever might have been approaching. I drank extra water, I rested some, I took some vitamin C and some other things. I just did what I felt drawn to do at the moment, right? Called to do at the moment. And kept repeating that mantra. And that has worked for me so much, so much. Just getting my mind on board with being as healthy and strong and as I want to be. Now, there are times we all have to go see someone or do something, um, but that has been wonderful. So I always think it's not this or that, it's this and that. Like I'm the kind of person who seeks, people who are licensed medical professionals and holistic, and I have this whole space in my world for holistic and energy and spiritual and mind. And for me it's not this or that, it's this and that. How can I look at the whole picture and only pull out what serves me? There are some holistic things that I don't feel have been as powerful for me as others, right? Where I like a hands-on true physical massage versus Reiki. Like, so I have been, and I've experienced different things, and I have still lots more things to try. But I know other people who have had great experiences with like sound therapies. There's just so much energy in the way we can heal. But I think we have to really listen to our soul and what speaks to us
Hmm.
and try different things, because sometimes you don't know until you try.
And also different people.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might really connect with me, and somebody else might connect with somebody else much
Uh,
better.
yes, don't give up on the first person. That is very true. That's true also with, if you're talking about therapies and just different things, you need to try different things to see what fits, really what fits, right? For you. I really have loved hearing about your journey like this. Can you give everybody a tip for the day?
I'm going to give you a tip that you can do now with what you were just talking about.
Mm,
If you have an area where you feel like you're getting a little bit sick,
mm,
or if you have pain in an area,
mm,
identify where the locus is. So
mm,
for pain, it's easy, the area where, there's the pain. But
mhm,
for you, the area, where do I feel like the energy is stuck
mm,
when I feel like I'm going to get sick?
mm,
Okay. And then I want you to do something I call, imagine there's a drain. So
mm,
if my tight area is here on my right shoulder, the
mhm,
drain is going to be in my hand. And
mm,
this is something I started doing with people with bodywork. Find the drain and then breathe into the area where the block is, where the tightness is. And then imagine the energy going from there out the drain. As you breathe out, let that energy flow out the drain.
mm.
And you might find that physically things have changed.
I love that. And that works in a number of ways. I I keep mentioning I'm a bit spiritual. I talk about it a little bit here and there, but I've talked about it a lot more today. But when I go to speak on stage or even teach a long training virtually or whatever it is I'm doing, I've learned that if I meditate on, I have this open space up above to receive the energy and strength and power from spirit, creator, source, what God, whatever you'd like to call it, I leave the space in from, but it's a protected, shielded space. And then of myself, I completely zip and protect myself. All my, as my husband would say, he's a very Star Trekky guy, all my shields are up. And I protect my own energy. And so that I can only receive it. None of it goes out. So I can receive it from the audience. I can receive it from, but none of it doesn't leak or lose. And what I found is when I do that, I feel more energized at the end, because what I was finding when I didn't do it, when I would forget or get, distracted, that I would feel like exhausted and like a wringed out washcloth, just done. At the end of those, I would keep it up for the adrenaline throughout the, but at the end I was just finished, versus rejuvenated, ready to do something new and creative and excited. And it's a very big difference. And I love that you're talking about that visualization and releasing that, because I think that that helps incredibly. So what a wonderful and beautiful tip.
Can I give you a second practical tip?
Sure. We'll
Okay.
take all the tips we can get around here, won't we, people?
Yeah. So in addition to receiving from, divine, God, universe,
Sure.
whatever it is, okay, also connect to the earth
Yeah.
and draw up energy and support from earth, so that the
Yeah.
energy is going all the way through.
Idea.
So for you, Jessica, I'll be interested to hear back from you if you find that this supports your energy even more.
Yeah.
Rather than drawing in and containing it. Not that you're going to lose the benefit of it, but by connecting to the earth, you're receiving from both sides.
I love that idea. And I feel like, just imagining it, that I'll feel a little more organized and focused in my presentation, because there is a bit of adrenaline and floaty feeling when I do it
Yes,
the way. And so I think that will give me more structured anchor focus. I'll
grounded.
I'll still be the
Yes.
fun, high energy person I am, because that's just not going away. But I think that makes a lot of sense. And one of the fascinating thing is obsessed with trees. I love them. I think they're so beautiful. So trees are one of my favorite things since a small child. And so I love the idea of rooting into that. As a matter of fact, there's a verse in a book that's a big time favorite of mine that says, "May your roots go down deep in His marvelous love," and I love that very, very much. So I love that idea of anchoring and being open. And I love the idea of receiving still too from the audience and the positive
Mhm.
energy. It's a filtered receiving from the audience of only the positive energy.
So through this ground connection, okay, so imagine your roots go down into the earth.
Mhm.
Trees have their roots going down into the earth, and you connect to the
Yes,
trees
yes.
through the earth. And I also see this earth connection as being how people come to me.
Mm,
So people walk their little feet on the earth to me. So the connection to other people comes through this earth
mhm.
connection.
Yeah,
So it's like,
it makes me imagine that Avatar moment, right? Where they feel like their ancestors are connected in this
yes.
tree. And I feel a lot like that's an opportunity to dissipate time, right? To make a
Hmm.
connection universally to energy, past, present, and future, all in one breath, all in one moment. I make a solid effort to do just that when I'm meditating and things. So um, I'd like to do that more. I will be doing that more. And I think it's also good for healing, family healing, generational healing, and fluid, like past, present, and future. When you make that time to meditate and focus that energy on that, um, it's impactful, and not, I believe, not just for you, for the extensions of your friends, family, community, whoever you're focusing that energy on. And sometimes if you really focus on some one particular person, you'll find that they call you or message you or text you or email you because you've tapped on them and their energy throughout. I don't know about, being telepathic or anything, but I believe that energy does connect, and it's felt powerfully. That's just my
Absolutely.
thoughts and my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. It is connected. So you're talking about this energetic connection with other people. Okay.
Mhm.
As I work with people with pain, part of what we're working with is what is going on in these relationships dynamics.
Mhm.
Because if I am stuck, not
Mhm.
able to communicate, not able to share with people, if there's strain in a relationship, that's all going to impact me, my body, how I feel, my emotional state. It definitely contributes to pain.
Mhm.
So, one of the tools that we have to assist people in fighting freedom from pain is okay, what's going on with your relationships?
Mhm. Mhm.
And what's going on with things that happened in the past in your relationships? Because, of
Mhm.
course, this is all going to impact who I am now and
Mhm.
how I feel
Yeah.
now.
And what I find with relationships too, it's also about, of course, it's always about forgiveness, but it's also about releasing expectation of the other person and being able to fill your own cup fully, in your own ways with, your friends, community, resources, whatever. But and self. And then if you have a challenging relationship that requires forgiveness and understanding, having an understanding of where that person is in their journey, what they're capable or not capable of giving, and finding a way to interact with them that you are happy with. So you have to, like, if I do this, this is going to feel good for me and be good for all parties involved. And then do that action or say that thing with no expectation of the other person.
Hmm.
That must be the full and completeness of what you need. Allowing that person to show up or not show up however they can or cannot, and you being okay with that. I think that's a big, big deal that people forget. They think, well, I did this, and then they didn't do anything. Well, that's okay. You did what was healing and good for you, hopefully. Hopefully you made those choices. And then you have to let the other person be wherever it is they are in their journey, because that's the best we can do, I think. So,
And to be able to be um, complete.
yeah.
So, I believe that as long as I keep thinking about something,
hmm
I'm attached to it still,
hmm
and it drains me. So in this, interaction with another person, if I feel attached to being right and they
Right.
have to agree with me, I'm just like, "Arr."
Yeah.
And it might not go very well.
Mm-mm.
And if I leave that interaction and I'm holding on, I'm stewing on it.
Yeah.
It keeps this strain in the relationship and it keeps strain in my body,
Yeah.
leading to ultimately pain and
Yeah.
distress. So, like you said, I was like, okay, I say what I have to say, and then I let go because the other person's going to do what the other person's going to do. And I don't have any control over that.
No. No. And also pre-deciding if it goes this way or this way, how am I going to feel? How will I respond in advance? Prepare yourself and make a choice and a decision that's healthy for you, so that you are ready for that. I think that's often something people forget to do in the process. Really taking your time with challenging relationships is important. And then the positive too, and the loving ones as well. There's planning and time is a good idea in all aspects of your life, whether you're talking business or relationships, to the best of your ability. Okay, well, we've given a lot of great tips. And now get typing out there because we're going to share the nonprofit cause that you care about. So give us a cause.
Every community or sizable community is likely to have a women's shelter.
Oh, wonderful cause.
In Olympia, Washington, which is where I am at the moment, there's a shelter called Safe Place.
I love that.
And this is just, a place where people who are in situations where there's danger have a place where they can go to be safe. So in your community, support.
See what you can find. Give time, treasure, or talent, or just be inspired to do something good to a cause that is close to your heart. That is the point. Type them in the comments, share away so that we can spread some awareness and exposure to the causes that everyone types in, yours and Sandra's alike. How about a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
So for those of you who have heard of Gabor Mate, he works with trauma in your experience and how that contributes to disease states in your body.
For sure.
So when the body says no, exploring the stress disease connection is one of his books.
Okay, I love that. That's a wonderful book, and it's one that we've never had on the show before, which is why we do this segment. Now, if you've written a book and you have a book you love, put those in the comments too. But moving right along, books you've written or anything else you want to share about the business is up next. So what books, I know you've been a part of a few. Tell us about those.
The Energy Medicine Solution is a compilation book that I've been in. And then I'm also a human design specialist. And so there's a book called Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing that we have a group book about human design.
That is beautiful. And you have a workshop coming up, and we're going to keep our eyes peeled for that. It has been so fun having you on the show today, Sandra. You're just a kind and loving person, and just very open to give praise and inspiration and encouragement to those around you. And that is a lovely thing to experience and be with. So I really, really appreciate that. I hope you've been having fun today too.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good. That's good. If you're out there thinking, wait, I could be inspiring, I could help someone grow their business or improve their personal life or do something great with relationships. Well, come on, especially if you're an author or in a book or got some great programs, wonderful things you can share. Reach out to us and our team, and we'll tell you just how to be a featured guest on our show. Now, before we say goodbye today, Sandra, I would love for you to share a final thought, some inspiration or information as we go.
This is my favorite one to share. Each person has a unique and special purpose and way that they contribute to the world. And a lot of times people don't think they make a difference. They don't think they're important. So I say that you are always living your purpose 24/7, even when you're doing something like taking out the garbage.
All right, so take out the garbage, live your purpose. No, that's not what we heard. No. Live your purpose all the time. Be present in the moment. Wherever you are is where you should be. You may be just learning a really challenging lesson that up-levels you within your purpose and in your journey. It is all beautifully connected. This has been an amazing show, if I don't say so myself. Thank you, Sandra Lee, again for being here with us. Thank you, all of you, for commenting, sharing, and liking. And until next time, I am still your host, Jessica Koch. And until the next Profound Professionals, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.